Chiefs, Rock, and Cat Crash, aka Nectaresh. Mind elevation of the more of the less. After I rise and shine, I'm ready to shoot the shot like it was gunplay. You heard from the rest, now hear the word on the best. Who has the character and caliber of Nectaresh? And when we meet, your only homework from last week is to be elite. Be discreet about the things we build upon when we speak. Your eyes to cross the T's and be complete to reach a peak. And when I rise to flourish, my mind is nourished with words to help me find the courage to stay on my higher purpose even when I get nervous. This is sort of like church for us, but it's about the service. Something about me on Monday.
What up, what up, what up, world? Tap, I'm Compression. It's the Monday jump off number 161. Make proper boundaries or protect your boundaries. But before we get into it, let's just do some housekeeping. Check in the description box. Go to www.portal. That's prtl.com. Use access code BELITE for 15% off all of your services there. So go enjoy yourself, look it up, all your recovery, strength things. It's just incredible. Great biohacking place. Check out Mezura Creations. Pick up your US cards, card game with culture, something really incredible, something for future generations, and something for now. So yeah, get yours, get the first edition, and just really enjoy yourself. And shout out to everybody who did grab up the game cards and who have been playing and shooting videos playing and just really enjoying it with your grandmothers, your aunties, your uncles, your granddads, your nieces, your nephews, your kids. A big salute to you, and that's just real incredible right there. And for everybody waiting for those other, for theirs to be shipped out, it's definitely coming. So it's just an exciting time to be, 1/3 of a genius team, and really be putting out good quality things. So yeah, shout out to the whole Mezura clan, Mezura Creations, MezuraCreations.com. Check it out. Check out Red Feather Wellness if you are in Connecticut. Check out Desiree Doulas if you are in the Carolinas. Medicine Essence if you are in DC, New Jersey, New York. Life Strength Health. Look into this fabulous husband and wife duo to get your health together. Come in with your spouse, your lady, your guy, and just get your health, get your gut health together, liver health, kidney health together. They're just an incredible team of health practitioners at Life Strength Health. What we got? We got the Sister Bonna set. Her information is in there as well. Comedic Wellness for sisters working on their womb health, relationships, everything. She's just really dope, really intelligent, and she's out in the Midwest, Ohio. So it's just somebody that you should all know. We should all know. And we have Haru. Her link is in the description. She does all the cool children books. She's actually gonna assist me with finishing out my kids' book that I've been dabbling on a bit, So I'm excited about that. Try to get that out this year, but at least early next year, So I'm just like happy to have a dope team and know really dope people. Check out my homegirl Tanai, realtor out of DC, really doing her thing. Really dope, heartfelt sister, really fly. If you're looking for property, duplexes, whatever, she's the one for you. And her link is also in the description. So I say all that to say this. It has been a Monday. But I'm very happy to be here with everyone that is watching. And it's just sometimes you got to realize it's a real blessing to do what's in your nature as a being to do. We watch the ants and the bees and all these other creatures, or redeemed creatures, but they're divine in their own self. But they go to work every day to play their part in the universal order of things. So who am I not to, go hard and move with my divine capacity and in bringing good order and good energy into this world that we know. And that was what was really on my mind today. Like, a lot of the times I hear everyone talks about boundaries, right? I got to set boundaries. I got to set boundaries against parents and friends or whatever. Boundaries. But I was like, damn, I live in America, and people ain't setting boundaries to push away from the table. We number one in obesity. You know what I mean? People not setting boundaries with the amount of fried food, sugar, fast food they eat or intake. People are not setting boundaries with the amount of sexual partners that they have. You know, but they'll set a boundary like a real life example too. They'll set a boundary like, I don't pick people up in my car no more. Even if you're going in the same direction and you have the tickets to the show, they'll be like, my therapist told me not to drive anybody in my car. But they'll make a boundary for that, but they won't make a boundary for their health or their mental enrichment. It's just really wild when I hear some of the things people make boundaries against versus what you physically can see, right? Because everything is determined on your two eyes, So what you physically can see, what you should be like, yo, you need to have a boundary on how much TV you watching or how much money you gambling away on these gambling apps. Um, Boundaries, like real boundaries. I think boundaries should be things that allow you to keep building your internal and making your external and internal more excellent. So yeah, you need certain buffers, but it all starts with the internal. It all starts with, what you eat, what you speak, who you talk to, who you even want to associate yourself with, what you want to associate yourself around. um, I think that kind of boundary is probably more key than these like really broad, audacious boundaries that kind of like imprison you or push people away from you. Because certain boundaries can become a form of escapism. We're not really trying to escape life. We're trying to exist and in this present moment and move everything forward. So take our knowledge and move everything forward so that, when we transmute into that spirit realm, our name means something. Like, say my name, I want you to feel empowered to be consistent and resilient and gain a certain level of endurance and strength and to just physically feel damn good 90% of the time. Um, that's what I want my name to do, for future generations. A young person watching this now, when they say Kapresh, I want the endorphins to kick in and they feel like they can kick ass for the day. And I think that's really technically, part of our purpose too, as human beings on this planet to make a life that other people can be inspired about, and also to make a life where we can handle what I like to call the prescription that life hands us. Think about it. You know, all that all the problems we face is technically if you really thought about it and try to flip it in a positive aspect, if you put it as a prescription, like, what is divine is giving you this for you to get better, for you to elevate, for you to have more knowledge of self, or for you to get your cipher a full 360. I think that's a better way to look at problems, more like a prescription to get maybe a particular shadow disease out your body, or a particular thing to stop you, to make you pause, so you have to re-evolve your life. I just think sometimes what we deem bad sometimes become good for us. I know that sounds wild, and it might seem unfair, but medicine always tastes nasty, but when you take it and you do the right things, and you get the proper rest, you just feel better. You have a better understanding of how your body works, what triggers you, etc., etc. So sometimes I believe we got to really look at things like it's prescribed. And then once that prescription is over, we're done taking it, we move forward. Life comes with another prescription, or a different map challenge. And our goal is really just to have fun with these things. Might suck at the time, you might be tired, or hell, you might not even know where to begin because you just haven't mastered those tools. But I will say this: by taking a proper step and keeping a proper attitude, you're going to be able to get through a lot more than somebody who takes the wrong attitude, or the why me attitude, or the hyper victimization attitude. Remember, you're always the king and queen of your life. And so how you want to put your best foot forward will always depend on you and your emotional and your spirit stand, like the type of aura you want to give off into the world, and the type of respect that you're seeking from your peers, and most importantly, the type of self-love that you have for yourself. It blew my mind. It's gonna sound crazy, but this was a crazy report. I guess they did some type of survey or whatever during the pandemic. How that was, that people literally stopped washing and brushing their teeth every day because they said they didn't have no place to go, and they had no people to be around. Now, to me, and how my mother and father taught me, you know, hygiene is holiness. So you can't even step correct if your hygiene incorrect. And plus, just on a base level, when you're in a car accident, you gotta go in the hospital. If you smelling bad and looking crazy, people ain't gonna treat you right. And that might be life or death, real talk. Like, you out here looking, you moping around, not putting your best foot forward. They see you on that bed, even though they on that Hippocratic oath to save you. They gonna just do their least. They gonna get the least to you. It sounds wild, but I'm pretty sure if there's some video footage of who's who going to these hospitals that's dressed a particular way, looking a particular way, smelling a particular way, the people that look more at a par, they probably getting better service. Don't have no stats on that, but you can definitely see how people treat people, even in public, even at restaurants, at the club, etc. That fits a particular thing, and that's just human nature. There's nothing wrong with that. Humans like flyness, humans like beauty, humans like things that smell good, look good, attract, and give off good energy. That's just the nature of us. So all that, like, come as you are, is kind of like bullshit, because we everybody likes to be around people trying to put on their best, and even in the comfort of their own home. Like, how you view yourself, you should be, handling your hygiene, because your hygiene is part of your mental and your physical boundaries as well. So never forget that. So that's my thing on boundaries, man. Our boundaries got to start from internal. You observing your family. There's like Uncle Ray got a drinking problem, and so does Aunt Brenda. You got to be like, nah, I can't have 5 or 6 drinks. I gotta have I gotta just take a shot, go sit my ass down, and that's creating a proper boundary to encase you, so you can keep moving forward, so you don't get caught in that hamster wheel, right? So use boundaries to make your internal, bloom and your external blossom. And I just think that's a good way to start, instead of having so many different boundaries for people that you don't know, right? Or people that you don't really have to deal with. When you create the boundaries for yourself, and you self-love and you self-respect yourself enough, it just kind of feeds on to others by default. They feel it, they get it, and they understand. They might not understand it, but they can definitely damn well always feel it. And sometimes that feeling is enough, you know. And two, the boundary of always wanting to be liked, you got to kill that. Like certain things you got to stand for, and certain things you got to be okay with people not liking you about. Somebody asked me a question, I was like, never. And I know they felt some type of way about it, but they were asking from, their cultural landscape of thinking like, oh, this is nice, this is this. And I'm looking at it from my cultural landscape like, yeah, that shit trash. I just don't want no parts of it. It might be good for some other group or other groups. It just ain't good for me, how I view the world. So I think when you're able to stand on your own too, and answer people honestly, and with the integrity of what you believe for yourself and how you govern yourself, you doing okay. But that don't mean you gotta be rude, call people out their name, or nothing crazy like that. But your worldview still gotta remain true to you. And I'm 100% um, honest about that. You don't really have to change for people. People either go respect it or they go move away. And people moving away gonna give you that leeway to do what you need to do anyway. You just gotta have the fortitude, right? Like you can't take you can't really take people their thoughts of you too close to the heart. It's like taking people cheering for you or booing for you. It's all the same thing. It's all ego driven, because if you're doing something true and you're doing something skillful and you're moving from a place of confidence and integrity and historic love and a particular godship about yourself, a lot of things just don't bother you, I did receive a DM. I did get that DM. Um, I just don't want to discuss that. I just will say LeBron James is just an incredible athlete through and through, and he just needs to be celebrated. All that possible allegation of whatever, I don't know. I don't want to touch that, and I just don't want to tarnish no black man's legacy that's put in real work. So it just is what it is for me. Um, yeah, it's cool. God bless him. He just made 40,000 points, and hopefully he has another season and a half. Play with his son, maybe not. And come on, bring that to New York City, become a Knick, retire. They're gonna pay you anyway. So yeah. So no, I'm not gonna discuss that. Well, that's my answer to that DM. So I guess I discussed it enough. But yeah, this is the Monday jump off, so we really try to keep it as positive as possible. Same thing with Jimmy Butler being EMO. So what? He got a song with Fall Out Boy. If you like that type of music, go support it. It ain't my vibe. The style ain't my thing. But grown men having their freedom. You got to look at how people were culturally raised too, and who brought them up, and then that explains a lot of a lot. And then too, people's spirit might just be attracted to certain things. We gotta realize it's not just like we live, our spirit becomes attracted to certain objects and beliefs and art, etc. Whatever it is, you just become attracted to it. So, but that's always going to be under the guise of who you were around and what you were really about and what you taught, and it all starts with your view of yourself as well. So, so I hope I answered that too. And we're going to get into this 48 laws of power. Like I said, everybody always says, oh man, this book is evil, etc., etc. But like I said, it's not the book that's evil. It's your perspective of what you're reading in the book. If you looking for the negative, then it's the negative. Like that's your thing. But for me, when I read this, multiple times, everything always highlighted when I open it up. I read it like, man, I can learn from this. I can grow from this. I can find an understanding of myself from this. And I think that's how I read a lot of things. Does this edify my soul? Is this going to allow my mind when I sleep to grow new ideas? For the stems to grow and get deeper rooted. So the new tree ideas is bloomed in my mind. So I think about things like that. This information will allow me to get physically better, emotionally better, spiritually better, where I walk into a room and my heart beat and it emanates a particular frequency, which attracts others of the same frequency. So it's just how we are reading things and how we view things. So I say all that to say this. I think we did 10 last week, but this is also going along with boundaries. So we going to law number 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Once again, do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. The moment of victory is often the moment of greatest peril. In the heat of victory, arrogance and overconfidence can push you past the goal you had aimed for. And by going too far, you make more enemies than you defeat. Do not allow success to go to your head. There is no substitute for strategy and careful planning. Set a goal, and when you reach it, stop. I mean, it don't get no realer than that. So basically, in this chapter, it's going to deal with King Cyrus from Babylon. He is trying to attract Massagetti, so that's Massaggetia, Massagetti, in the realm on the Caspian Sea, and they were led by a queen named Tamiris. And basically, Queen Tamiris wanted all the smoke. Told him, "Yo, you come over here. We got this our so-called barbaric city nation." She basically told them, "We gonna fuck you up." Straight like that. She sends the note to him. So long story short, he encamps, he sets the trap, he brings food, this, that, and the thing. He brings all the stuff that they don't have or they don't normally eat or whatever. So she sends her son, who was her general, to the camp. They all fall asleep. They reincarcerate, Cyrus armies allow for them to slaughter a few and then engulf it and then take whatever. He sends a message to her about how now she has her son. She goes like this, "Hey, that's fine, whatever, just return my son." Cyrus says no. But she said, "Cyrus, I told you, if you come over here, you will get stomped out." She sends the message back, even though he has a son, "Release my son fight me like king to queen. We take our kids out. Boom. Long story short, her son commits suicide. She goes like, all right, cool. And basically they fight, and then she crushes Cyrus, king of Babylon, and then he dies in that battle. Wow. But he literally owned the world, and technically he would have had navigation through the Caspian Sea. She didn't even want money from him. She just wanted him to be able to go about his business and leave them alone. So either she was preparing for something like that. Queen Timorous, like I've never really read the story that deeply to know, but judging by, Law 47, she wanted all the smoke, and she was well prepared, and she knew that he's conquered so much so fast that probably the fatigue had set in, and he didn't really know the landscape that well. So it was probably like very much so on their behalf. That's how he got defeated, King Cyrus. So know when to stop. Create a good boundary around yourself of when you're gonna do something, how you're gonna get there, your goals, your goals such as your mental, your goals as your physical, and then your goals as your spiritual, and then your relationship goals as well. Have a plan. Just don't be hopping and jumping around. Really get yourself a plan. And I think that law number there, law number 47, is such a good know your boundaries, know when to stop after your success. That whole American thing, more gluttony, right? The American concept of gluttony is a thumbs up, and greed. Technically, once you have enough, you should have a certain joy of contentment, because some people would never have any. So when you have enough and you're able to branch out and assist others, you basically made it in your craft, in your particular career. Ain't no need to stay up 28 hours and trying to get more when you're already doing well. you know it's time for you to branch out and do other things and activate and accentuate other aspects of your life. Get your hobbies back, and your things that brought you real joy. And if your career is what brings you real joy, i.e. myself, you just keep adding on to different ideas that you wanted to bring into a world, like the us cars and and other things, and in kids books, etc. So yeah, create your proper boundaries. Remember, never overstep your success boundary. Know when to go to the top of the mountain and go like this: I'm good. Don't destroy yourself chasing, fantasy goals. Don't imprison yourself by having fantasy boundaries. And this is the Monday Jump Off number 161. I'm Compresh. And remember, you are the king and queen of your life. Keep putting your best foot forward. And I love y'all. Peace. See you next week.